That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.
Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife, Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast, That's What I Said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
What? Oh my God!
Y'all know what time it is. Turn up. That's what I said.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with your host, Cedric Sanders. Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. The broadcast starts now.
It's Tuesday. I don't know, y'all. I think we have to actually, like, I don't know, do something different when we play the music and we come in. I need to have a video of some dances or some shit. Like doing just some weird dances or whatever. I mean, something. What's good, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. It's Tuesday, so that means That's What I Said, the podcast, live and direct, pretty much on all streaming platforms where you get your podcasts, or I should say, wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever. I mean, That's What I Said is right there. If you listen to me live, that means you listen to me on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, by the way, and Twitch. So, what's good? What you doing over there? I'm talking about you.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tapping in and tuning in with us on this fantastic Tuesday evening. I am the co-host, better known as Wifey.
That she is, and I'm your host. Your boy named Sid.
I
think
over here having some technical difficulties, but other than that, I am gravy.
Yeah, I ain't no technical difficulties. I think you just need to understand your equipment over there. Or maybe it's just slow. I don't know. Shit. Tonight is a part 2 of a conversation we had last Tuesday. And we were going to do a part 2 on Thursday, but I had to cancel because we had some things that we had to take care of that would kind of unexpectedly happen. So it's unfortunate on my part. I got to plan better. And the takeaway from that is there will always be a podcast on Tuesday and Thursday, regardless if it's live or not. 90% of the time it's going to be live. But if by chance can't do a live, I will make sure that there is a podcast that's there available every Tuesday and Thursday. So part 2 of the best investment basically is you. I mean, there's not a basically to it. It's, your best investment is self. Your best investment is you. So I wanted to do a part 2 and break this up into 4 parts because there's no way you can really dive into the conversation about self-investment, especially when it comes to self, and it be a 30, 40-minute conversation. That's not reality.
That ain't mathin'.
Yeah, exactly.
That math ain't mathin'.
That shit math. That math is not mathin'. I mean, it's just not. I mean, I got to put on the just calculated activities around here. It's no.
Yeah. The
math is not mathin'. So we I think collectively made a decision live last week that we were going to break this down into 4 sections, regardless of the communication that we do while I'm podcasting and it being live. But we wanted to break this down so that it was going to be effective conversation. But at the same time, it's an opportunity to get to know me and how I think about certain things, not even just on a personal level, but on a financial level as well, because we're trying to bring or bridge the gap when it comes to the conversations that we have. But at the same time, hearing a viewpoint from someone that is not in all retrospect famous, a celebrity or anything, but someone that is comfortable in their voice to have the conversation, to hopefully, reach the masses, be able to continually have conversations and have solution-based conversations, not just these trauma bonding, conversations that people like to have and have no solutions, just to have, a platform to talk.
I was just about to say, they just want a place to talk and hear themselves talk. And I mean, like you said, there's no solution behind the conversation. There has to be a solution.
And I think additionally, it's a sad point of view to have when you're not in competition with people to have this conversation or these type of conversations.
Right.
But you broaden your outlook on the conversation because you're putting yourself in a box. You're putting yourself in this box that you only want to reach a certain group of people.
Yeah, you can't do that. Not in this day and age.
I mean, if
you really can't.
You just want to be this po-righteous teacher in just your community and y'all sit there and trauma bond and talk about the same intangible bullshit that really there is no measure to it, but you're trying to measure it to just have a conversation so that you can agree that an intangible asset actually is an asset that has value, then you don't know what intangible asset means.
True facts.
An intangible asset is something that really, it just has no value. It has meaning, but it just has no value. You can't measure it.
Right.
So, okay. So since we're on the conversation of intangible assets, what's an intangible asset? Loyalty, trust, love. That's it, intangible assets. Somebody can tell you that they love you, but your measure of love is always going to be different than someone else's measure of love.
Oh, absolutely.
So when someone says they love you very much, your belief is what you believe how much that love is. Yes, that person has to show you and prove to you and all these other things like that. But you're innately only going to believe what love so much means based off of how much you want love to be experienced in your life. And how much you know what love is. That's just my opinion.
Well,
that's an intangible asset. It doesn't have it has a value, but it's valued upon you.
Yeah.
It's not valued upon a thing or someone else's opinion or who's give a shit. It doesn't matter.
Right. And there's no end point to it.
That part. I mean, it's case in point.
It's infinite.
Trust. Your level of trust and my level of trust, two different things.
True.
And how you get to a point of trusting certain things is how you get to that point.
Right.
My get to that point may be completely different in the same situation, but that doesn't mean that person is wrong.
Right. You may take a left at the Y in the road and I might take a right.
Exactly. People always want to argue that no, trust is just trust. I agree. Trust is just trust. But the level of trust that someone has for someone else cannot be judged or detailed by what somebody else thinks.
Absolute facts.
If I trust you because based off of your consistency and being in my life, regardless of what it is that you give me or resources, that's how I trust someone. They may understand why I trust them based off of my, just telling them I appreciate them and I trust you and all this other shit. They will understand my level of trust for them, but my trust isn't the same level of trust that they have for me. They may trust me because of something completely different.
Right.
And it may mirror up to what my trust level is, but it's still not the same.
Right. They may trust you based on something you did unbeknownst to you.
It could be unbeknownst to me, but it could just be my personality of who I am. You know what I'm saying?
True. I was just about to say it could be, have something to do with your character and what you did, whether beknownst or unbeknownst to you.
Right.
And
I agree. I think that it's those intangible assets when it comes to these conversations that people have. It's okay to have them. I'm not saying that it's wrong. All I'm saying is that sometimes you have to realize what is the solution that I'm trying to reach by bringing up this topic or bringing up this conversation or bringing up this type of I wouldn't say debate because it's really not a debate. It's really
conversation.
It's a conversation on building and how can we build to a solution. Some people are having conversations regardless of what the title is, and they're not solution based. They're just, like we said before, talking shit.
Right.
In my opinion, I don't want to be a part of a subject that I feel a lot can be said about it. But what is the solution to get to the end game?
Right.
So that not just
what's the end result in it?
One or two people are talking about this thing.
Yeah.
How are we getting to the solution to where we're having more than just this conversation?
Exactly.
Nobody's having that type of conversation. That's the kind of conversations that I present. These are things that we have a problem with acknowledging the fact that, we may know a lot of shit. We may want to teach people what we know.
Right.
But we get so discouraged because of the fact that these people don't want to just know it, but they want to complain with everything around it. So we can't be motivated if we have a bunch of negative Nancy's always around us, downplaying our motivation to do greatness. We just can't do that.
Right.
And I'm not a hole in the wall or a, stump on a log when it comes to having great conversation. I can have great conversation all day, every day. The problem is that having that great conversation, what is the end result?
Right.
I don't like
Were
to
you
sit
just conversating with someone.
Right. I don't like to sit on one end of the spectrum and just talk about one person for like 3 hours when really talking about somebody for more than 30 minutes is
exhausting.
It's more than a conversation. You're talking shit about this person at this point. I'm sorry.
But no, really, it is. it's exhausting. Like you could get on a conversation with someone about anything random, and by 10 minutes, I'm spent. Like my mind is already gone unless I am invested in a conversation with that person and I have interest in what they're talking about.
Right. And
Other than that, I'm out.
I think sometimes we, like, I don't know, so many podcasts ago, we were saying that a lot of people take value in what entertains them instead of what educates them. And a lot of times these conversations are more entertainment than they are educational. And I get that, you know, especially when you just want to get on the phone and have a conversation with someone that you may have talked to or not talked to in a while, or whatever.
Right.
And
you catching up.
You catching up, and then sometimes, you know, you emotions get involved beyond the conversation, and then what ends up happening is that you start talking about people that have not just pissed you off, but have let you down.
Right.
Why am I even going here? To improve who you are, you have to invest in the experience. The experience of life is a hard lesson if you keep failing and not fixing the fail. To me, it's a greater opportunity to sit there and take the acknowledgement of what you may have done wrong or the mistake you may have made, or you keep trying, and every time you keep trying, it just seems like you fail or you fall down, and it's a constant occurrence. Let me tell you something. I had this thought for years that it was me. But when I actually listened to what I was saying, that's when shit changed for me. And literally, this was like almost 10 years ago. Well, it is 10 years ago. And the conversation I was having was like, why does all the bad shit happen? Why is it I'm always in these messed up situations? And it's like, I never achieve the things that I want to achieve. And why? And then I realized what I was saying to myself and why I wasn't fixing it. Because sometimes when we talk out loud, who are we talking to?
Yourself.
And some people just like, oh, I'm just talking out loud. I'm just talking out loud. Are you really talking out loud? Or are you talking to you? Sometimes we don't have that conversation with ourselves that we really need to have. And sometimes we do. We just don't be listening. And the listening part is what's fucking us up right now.
That's funny you said that, because it's not that you just talk to yourself, but you're speaking all that information into existence in the universe. I mean, it's a sad
at
reality.
Some point, the real you,
is you.
At some point, your ass is gonna answer.
Yup.
And it's not when you get to the point when you get, I'm tired of this shit. No, it's not gonna get to that point.
Nuh-uh.
What is gonna happen is you're gonna have an experience that opens your eyes and says, I've been talking to me all this time and I haven't been listening. And you're going to laugh your ass off. And it may be emotional to where you cry, but you're going to actually laugh your ass off.
Right. At some point, you're going to be like, damn.
The game is not meant to be played. It's meant to be won.
Right.
However, how do you win the game? You must know how to play that mug.
Right.
You must know how to play it.
Teach yourself.
This is the same thing with self-investment. You have to know how to play the game.
Yep.
Do you think rich people that not inherently became rich, because some people have this theory that the reason why people are rich is because they were already rich? Not financially. Maybe in the mindset and the totality of what they felt like they needed to do. Yeah, they were rich because they never gave up. Rich people have this consistent attitude of maintaining what they have.
Yeah.
That means that if you're going to maintain what you have to circle yourself around people that have maintained what they had.
Yep.
You can sit there and not have a good circle of people that has not maintained and had and still be successful. But are you the type of person that is not going to let people in so that you can be their mentor and maybe give them the scope of reality that some things work and some things don't work? And this is what worked for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but do some research into what you're about to do and know what your risks are and what your reward could be based on that risk.
Well,
That's not just with self. That's with finances. That's with life. That's with relationships. That's with a job. But why do we not have deeper conversations with that? We have people in our life that we want to help. We want to be able to provide guidance to. But how are we providing guidance to people
if you're not guiding your own self?
if you're not being the example? You have to be the example. You have to be the blueprint. You have to be the shining restitutional awareness for yourself and be the example.
Right.
It's like if you can't be the example that people can actually not even just want to imitate, but idolize, look up to, value, want to be able to learn from. If all these things and parameters are put in place for you to do this, why the hell aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about things that you can't see. I'm talking about things that are really obtainable in your life if you actually value you and take the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm doing this no matter what. I refuse to believe that we can't change and be better at everything that we're doing. I just can't believe that we can't do that. It may be as simple as all of us sitting at the table with our own views on things and not trying to tell people what our people did so many years ago. Yeah, that's history that we should all know. But it's not going to dictate how people are living into this realm today.
Right.
So that my generation of people not only know who they are, but they have the financial means to not only just take care of themselves, but to be able to take care of their family in the highest stake of how things need to be taken care of. Because I don't give a shit what you say. If you have the game played the way you need to play the game with no cheat codes, you the cheat code. You the shining example of all the experiences that you may have went through or someone should go through. And it should be the blueprint for people to be able to read and say, damn, he went through all of that shit. And now look at us.
Right.
We ain't never experienced that, but because of his sacrifice, we will never have to experience it. But we're humble because of the experience and understand our people may not be in the position that we're in. But our duty, our due diligence is to not only educate our family to be the master teachers, but to teach our people so that they can be the master teachers for their lineage.
Right.
But see, people don't want to have this conversation.
No.
People want to believe in conspiracy theories and believe in the Phantom of the Menace, the things that don't exist, but actually create madness in our lives. People don't want to believe that if you could actually take the time to understand something and learn and understand why it is what it is,
right,
you can become rich off that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not rich by any stretch of the means.
Rich in education.
If I was rich financially, nobody would know about it but me.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
It's not even that we wouldn't be having this conversation. I wouldn't be talking about it. I can only talk about experiences. So if you're following the podcast and you're following me, I'm giving experiences. There's a difference between someone giving experience and someone just giving you bullshit.
Right. They're reading from Google.
Anybody can Google this shit and have.
Man.
Let's be real. Anybody can Google a topic
and just sit and talk.
And sit and talk.
Read right from the script.
Anybody can go buy some cards and say that they're a tarot deck and they ain't never read tarot in their entire life. But because of a book that they have as reference, they are now a tarot card reader. And this is no shade towards them. But there is a guiding principle on how to read those cards, and how intuitive you are into those cards is how your tarot card reading is going to go.
Yeah.
Some people ain't intuitive to their damn cards.
Right.
They just dealing shit.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that.
There's some gifted folks out there.
Let me repeat that, because I don't think people it was
bang,
heard.
Bang, bang, bang.
People have a set of cards. The problem is those cards that they have, they're not in tune with those cards. They're not taking the guidance to be able to understand what those cards are. What's being dealt to me? How are you dealing out cards that you don't understand? That means you dealing out bullshit. That's where that term comes from. If you don't understand the cards you've been dealt, how are you dealing out bullshit cards for other people to understand? That's the reason why our people, when it comes to finances, and people say we shouldn't live our life around money, and we shouldn't live our life around being motivated. The hell, you shouldn't live your life about being motivated. You should be motivated into creating so that your family doesn't have to create and recreate and multiply and create. You should be able to create something that your family can mirror and probably won't even have to do all the steps that you did.
Right.
And even if they have to do the steps, you got the blueprint. It's written down. Mm-hmm. You understand the cards that were dealt to you. I mean, we understand the cards that are being dealt to us. How can we not be able to just sit there and appreciate the cards that are being dealt to us?
Right.
Everybody likes a good card game. I know the crowd I'm talking to. You feel me over there?
Yeah.
There's people out there that like a good card game. Me personally, I love playing spades. The problem is you don't get a good hand every time.
Nope.
It's how you deal the cards. You deal the cards. You don't know what's under the cards. You're just dealing them. With what? Hope. I hope they deal me a damn 10 for 2. I wish a motherfucker would. Let me not have no hearts in this hand and have 8 spades. Oh, hell no.
It's about to go.
Man, it's about to go down is not even the little bit of it. We have to employ our life to be the same way, believe it or not. We just can't hope that we get a good hand when we know the cards that's going to be dealt to us. If we're the dealer, why come we can't deal ourselves the best hand possible? The best hand possible when it comes to self-investment ain't about just sitting here and hoping and wishing.
Yeah.
This ain't a card game where you can look at the cards and deal the cards out how you want to. But when you improve and invest in your life and invest in self,
yeah,
you're the dealer.
Right.
Which means you know the cards that's in the shuffler.
And you should be dealing yourself all the things that should line up for you.
Let's get on with the 2 quotes that we supposed to be doing. In the financial motivational corner. Let's get that out the way. Since I done got up here and start preaching like a preacher with a hand towel in my hand, let's figure out let's do it the other way around. Let's not even talk about the financial right now. What's the motivational quote this week?
Oh.
Double for 400 or stay for 200. Say that.
So I think I have both the empowerment and the financial quote for this week.
Okay.
Purpose fuels passion.
Say that. Go ahead and read that again.
Purpose fuels passion.
Well, let's
Compliments of
I appreciate that, Mario.
AmyEdge.com.
Huh?
I said that's compliments of AmyEdge.com. And for the financial quote this week, coming from our man, Mr. Warren Buffett, successful investing takes time, discipline, and patience. No matter how great the talent or effort, some things just take time. You can't produce a baby in a month by getting 9 women pregnant.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that you. I'm not gonna say that you can, but damn, yeah, that's deep. Appreciate them stars there, Mario. I really do appreciate it, and appreciate the like there, body, and everybody that's looking at me, regardless of where you watching it on the stream. I appreciate the love. So, damn, that was powerful. Like,
Right.
I think what ends up happening is the patience that people have is only tolerable to the experiences that they've had with these people or with life or with experiences. Well, sometimes patience needs to follow into a better retrospect in the conversation, even when it comes to yourself, when it comes to motivating, when it comes to taking care of your family, when it comes to investing. Patience is like the biggest thing that will set you free, because you have to be patient with yourself, especially if you don't understand something.
Right. But you got to have that discipline right behind that patience.
Right. You have to. You have to.
There's no denouncing that.
Right.
You have to.
And I think another thing that's weird about that, yeah, exactly. Take the words out of my mouth. I think I was about to say the thing that I think is weird is that a lot of people don't have patience. And a lot of times it's something that people get aggravated about. But me personally, I understand it. Because you got to look at it. I can only, like I said, this podcast is based off experiences. It ain't based off some Google shit.
Yes, absolutely.
Me personally, I understand people not having patience because I was in the military for 20 years. There's a lot of patience you have to have with just people in the military. I mean, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a damn where you come from. When you've been in the military for 20 years and you have the mentality you had before you got in the military, it doesn't change who you are. It makes you value patience. Because some of us, when we get in the military, we're very impatient. Some people, when they go in the military, this is the first real check they ever had. You impatiently want to fuck that up.
As soon as
you want to fuck that up.
As soon as you get it.
You want to, and you over 21? And you not at home? And you live on base with no rent? And they give you a fucking meal card where you can get 3 meals a day for free?
It's a wrap.
And the water don't never get shut off unless they doing maintenance?
And the power.
And the power is free?
Shoot.
I'm telling you, people think college is bad. It's really not.
Yeah.
The military is not bad. It's just you have to have a lot of patience. Because
for all kinds of stuff.
This is all kinds of shit. I was just saying that as a funny, whatever. But
yeah, but you definitely do for all kinds of shit.
It's a lot to me. people grow up in the military.
Oh,
there's some
absolutely.
people that have a life prior to the military and mature a lot faster, or just mature as a regular person should mature. And their experience for that period of time in their life is always going to be different, because you're always around military.
Right.
Unless, of course, you move out in town and then you have your, I guess you could say, regular life with, civilian people and everything, but people still treat you differently because you're in the military. Mm-hmm. When you're in a military town, majority of the people that live in your area are, either in the military or retired military or did some time in the military. It is what it is. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because sometimes your patience has to be valued on who you're around, the diversity of people. It's hard to explain when people don't necessarily understand what patience is. Sorry, y'all, I'm reading a comment at the same time I'm trying to talk. I was reading an article where it shows patience in kids is dwindling. Like they can't hit through an entire 2-hour movie, but can watch 2 hours of short TikToks with no problem. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, bro.
The difference in the distraction.
Yeah.
Or the entertainment, let me say.
It goes back to what I said. People rather be entertained than educated.
Uh-huh.
People will spend more time on social media for their entertainment, to fulfill that endorphin in their body, to laugh, to be whatever, and never take the time for themselves to not even just do better and be better. They sit there and look at all that shit and envy people.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta go because so-and-so, this influencer on social media that I've been watching for like 4 months, he's gonna be in town, and I gotta. That's great. You support them. What the fuck they doing for you?
Oh, they just dropped this new outfit by this certain person, or these new shoes. I gotta go get them. I gotta stay trending.
Right.
Huh?
I mean, and it's okay to stay trending. It's okay to be in the it thing for fashion. But if you're not doing self-investment, if you're not providing the things that you should to invest in it yourself.
Right.
How are you so quick to support
Damn, Mario.
I mean, Mario, you telling the truth. But I'm sorry, y'all. But it's a comment, so let me be transparent. They said order this on Amazon. I need it. It's like it's the truth. Mm-hmm. And then I can remember when I was growing up, it was a different type of mentality.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, you still wanted to do certain things. You still wanted to sneak off and go to these concerts and stuff like that, and drink or smoke or whatever. But that ass whooping was a real life. That made you change decisions
real quick
in your life.
Real quick.
My mom did not have the patience to figure out what I'm trying to say to her that she knew was a lie as to why I came in the house later than she told me to. Mm-hmm. That fear was a real fear. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I respect my mom for it to this day, because it did make
your ass. I
mean, shit. It allowed me to quickly make the right decisions instead of the decisions that would get my ass whooped. And it wasn't just the fact that it was the getting your ass whooped. To me, it was
instilling a life lesson.
That, and it's the fact that why do I want my mom to whoop me? Because I want to do dumb shit. Mm-hmm. I mean,
because you want to disobey
It wasn't that
What
it was
she
dumb shit.
told
I won't
you
say that.
to
I
do.
won't say it was dumb shit. I would just say it was just what kids like to do. I can't go do that, but all my other kids are doing it. So it's like peer pressure, right? Mm-hmm. Why do people feed into that same peer pressure when they become adults? It's like,
Because it's instilled in them as a
my
kid.
parents can't whip my ass. I'm grown. But bro, you got a whole
You better
alcohol.
think about it.
You got a whole alcohol problem.
But you think about it though, don't you? Like when you about to go do something, do you think about
That ass whooping turns into disappointment real quick. Let me just say that.
yeah.
They don't want to disappoint their family. So people grow up quicker. And then some people still do shit, but at the same time, it's like, oh, they ain't gonna never find out. To me, it was not about even if they found out.
Right.
It was what I had to live with
Yeah.
because it was the shit that I did. It ain't shit they did. It's what I did. So I think growing up, becoming more mature, and allowing things to be what they need to be is something that we have to relish and something we have to really pay attention to. But some investment, I think one of the key things that I was going to talk about from a financial standpoint on the financial motivational corner was it wasn't so much just a conversation. I wanted to have a brief, I guess you could say a brief hello to inflation. A lot of people are trying to, I guess, prepare for inflation. There's no such thing as preparing for inflation.
No.
I'm just going to be honest. There's just not. Inflation is something that we inherently hear about, and then it's like, oh, it's the government, it's this, it's that, it's so many things, it's what the government's doing or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the thing. Inflation went up. It went up to an annual rate of 1 or 2%. That was the highest it was last year in June or July, or I think it was June, maybe June, July. Had it been May, I don't know. It was sometime in the summer. I'm gonna say June, and then it dropped to 6.4 in January. Let me tell you something. Inflation, by definition, is just how prices go up when the dollar ain't shit. Let's be real. The same dollar that y'all spending today is not the same dollar we were spending when I was in high school. When I was in high school, and I'm telling my age, but we had like little candy rooms. So we would have breaks in school, and normally it was at lunchtime, and we would go to the candy room where, you know, one of the classes that was in business was selling the candy. And you would go there and take a little money and buy some candy or whatever, and then you would eat it during your break or during lunch, and, you know, you good. That same dollar can't even buy the same candy bars we was buying in high school. Like at all. Matter of fact, you can get one. Where we give them $1, we can get about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, and they was like for a quarter, and let me get them Nihilators, that's a dime. Let me get 5 of those, and then, oh shoot, I got the quarter left. All right, then can't have no gum, so let me get them Nerds. Let me get 2 packs of them Nerds. Bruh, you didn't walk out of there with a bag full of candy for $1.
Right.
Don't have $5 because you sitting up there getting the big candy bars. Mm-hmm. See, we can't do the big candy bars with $1 no more.
Yeah.
$1 can barely get a damn box of Tic Tacs right now. I think Tic Tacs are like $1.49 or some shit.
Or a pack of gum.
A pack of gum. I remember when a pack of gum was 25 cents.
Right.
And you got 5 pieces.
Mm-hmm. And tore them shits up.
Man. I remember them Nihilators. It was only like, it was 5 in a pack, in the small pack. And then they made the bigger packs where I think it had 6 in there. Man,
Like that, yeah.
we could go up there and get them pack annihilators for like $1. And then I remember when they had the big ones, I think they were like 20 cents. And you can get 5 of those for $1.
So check this shit.
Gum lost favor in 2 chews. You right, because they didn't put no sugar in them shits. None.
So check out this with regard to the inflation rate. So 2020, the inflation rate was 1.4%.
Right.
1.4. 2021, zing, that shit hit 7%.
All right, so
What happened in 2020 to 2021? COVID.
well, yeah, COVID happened, but who was president in 2020?
Trump.
But what happened during that time? It was COVID, right?
It was just, the COVID stuff was just starting, and Biden was about to take presidency.
Well, no, he didn't take presidency. What year did he take presidency?
I don't remember.
I'm looking it up right now because I can't.
Was it in 20?
I can't. No, he became president in 2021. I was right. So he was elected later on in 2020.
Okay.
Irregardless.
Yep. But in previous years, from 2013 to 2020, the highest the inflation rate ever got was 2.3, and that was in 2019.
So now it's at 6.4.
And today is 6.4.
So
Crazy.
I think people need to realize that it doesn't matter how much you try to save. Inflation is going to catch your ass. So everybody's like, well, how do you prepare for inflation? You grow more money.
Yep.
You don't try to spend the same money to try to buy the same shit that's not worth what you're buying because now it has a 6-point floor, price raise on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to make their money, just like the companies that produce the vehicle have to make their money.
Right.
How's the consumer making money buying higher inflated shit? They're not.
Nope.
So people is like, well, how do you self-invest and prepare for inflation? I'm going to tell you. You find ways to create that, not necessarily create passive income, but you have passive income. And I'm not saying you find a job that you make a lot of money in and you can take care of the things that you want to take care of and live the way you want to live. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have to have a job to have that life, you're not living. Because your lifestyle is based on you bringing home that money.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not living. You're living within your means. Everybody was like, well, that's a good thing, right? If you want to think about it that way, okay, I'll play your game. Everybody says you should live within your means. You should live within your means. But why are we living within our means? We're only living within the means of where we're receiving our income from. So if we want to have better means of living, we have to change the problem, which is relying on a job that's bringing in the static income that I have so that I live within my means. We should never have to live within our means. Our means should be able to live the way we want to live, meaning we should have the income that sufficiently take care of our family, has enough money in the bank to not only take care of our family, but the family's family after that. So that they're comfortable understanding and knowing how they got into the position that they have financially, how they can maintain it, and then how they make it grow so that it can continue to grow for years and years down the line. People don't want to have that conversation because generational wealth is a conversation that people have to now pay for, which I think is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Generational wealth should be a conversation that we have just like we're having right now for free. We should all be able to sit at the table and have generational wealth conversations so that we all can be successful. But we can't have that conversation because we're too busy competing. Not going in that conversation tonight. Not going there. What I am going to go into is the conversation that I kind of stopped at, but I'm going to continue to go in a little bit of a forward direction. And then that's the podcast. So the direction that I see a lot of where we need to go is beginning to start. You have to start somewhere. So how do you start with improving self-investment? This is just personal. Recognize the things that you want to accomplish and what you need to do to accomplish those things. If it's, I want to buy my first house, I want to increase my income so that I can travel more with myself or my family. It's like you write all these goals down. Everybody wants to say it's a vision board. You write your vision board and you put the car that you want to purchase, the house that you want to live in. And those are great affirmations. Not saying you shouldn't do that. What I am saying, though, is you should do that for self. I want to increase my knowledge in something that can possibly increase my income or help me understand where I'm slacking at financially and what I can make better. How can I put my money in a situation that it's continuously making more money and I don't have to necessarily do anything but monitor the growth? There's so many different facets of how we can grow our money out there and how we can better our situation financially that we don't even take the time to even pay attention to it or listen to it or appreciate it when the lesson is there. We have to start appreciating those lessons that's there. We have to start investing, not just in ourselves, but we have to start investing on the things that's going to provide a better institutional mindset without us having to be institutionalized to get the mindset.
That ring the bell on that.
Bang, bang.
All I'm
bang,
saying is that I think we could do a lot better if we provide the opportunity so people can make those decisions on their own and be able to understand where they need to go and the direction they need to go. And what does this mean? What does that mean? So on and so forth. If they can grasp all those concepts and put it all into like one section of an opportunity to not just provide their own blueprint so they can go and have, you know, a go by thing or go by set of life things to go forward, but they can mold their own direction. They can say, okay, let me do this first. Let me knock this out. Let me take care of the things I need to take care of. And then once I got all this situated, I got it all lined up, I know the plan now. You start doing the plan. You start working it out. You start making all these things happen. And now you have an example so that you don't fail. Because even if you hit a roadblock, that's not failure. It's an unknown experience. How can I correct the problem so I can keep going? That's the only conversation you trying to have at this point. Okay, all right, I did that. All right, cool. So what I got to do to fix it? And then what's the next step?
Right.
That's it. That's it. Just start investing. Get started. Do you. If that means you need to take some time to you to where you need to build you and you need to build your empire, do you. Don't let other people influence you on what you need to do or how you need to do it. Go to those people to where you can have those conversations with so that you can build your empire, because these people want to see you be successful. That's the people you want to be around. Those are the people that are going to show loyalty to you. because they know that you're not trying to just take advantage of people's knowledge or anything. You're actually trying to put this into work to create generational wealth so that your family can benefit from it and continue the namesake and continue the financial growth that's within the generation and provide endless generational wealth and not feel like they have to struggle. And everybody says it's innately going to happen. So how is it innately going to happen? Because we're not strong enough or educated enough or what? What is it? No, people just want to give up. People just don't want to do that shit. It's like people want to struggle. And to me, it's some humbling shit about, coming out of the struggle.
Right.
Because now you understand why when people say they're struggling, you've been there, done that.
Right. You can actually sympathize, empathize with that individual on what they've gone through to get to where they're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it, y'all. I'm not going to continue with a lot more of back and forth and this person's crazy and I am too. We're not going to do all that. We just not. But what we are going to do is wish everybody a good night and go in with a part 3 on Thursday. I'm definitely looking forward to that because it's going to give me an opportunity to dive into something that I have not talked about when it comes to self-investment. And it's a needed conversation. It's a needed conversation because the main thing that I'm going to be really kind of pursuing in the third topic is learning something new. And being able to be accountable for that. Learning something new is always fun because it's new. And as you get older, you become more experienced. So those experiences also help you understand the new skill. So learning something new is kind of the circle of conversation we're going to be talking about on Thursday. So, please join us, be available, grab your pen and your pad, get active in the comments. You got a question. It's always good to put it in the comments. As you've seen in Facebook, hasn't been going all night. I appreciate everybody that took the time on Facebook. Everybody took the time on Twitch, YouTube, listening live on Spreaker.com, or when this ends, you'll be able to listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. You got a thing for the people before we get up out here?
Yep. I'm going to repeat the quotes and remember that purpose fuels passion and successful investing takes time, discipline, and patience. No matter how great the talent or the effort, some things take time. You can't produce a baby in a month by getting 9 women pregnant. Man,
that's real.
It was a good podcast tonight. Thanks everybody for taking the time to jump in the comments and join the live conversation. Much appreciated. Hit us up on the That's What I Said Facebook page. Drop us a line in the messenger there, or just jump in and join us live again on Thursday evening. Thanks. Peace.
We out, y'all. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Check y'all out on Thursday. We out of here. And as always, make sure y'all take care of yourself. Y'all taking care of your family. You're doing everything you need to do to be the best you. And we out of here, y'all. That's what I said. Peace.
That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.